What's up, gamers and collectors? DGC back with another video. It's Switch 2 launch weekend. Let's talk about my first impressions of the system. Alright guys, so right off the bat, I got the Switch 2 non-Mario Kart Edition Pro Controller. I got the GameCube Controller. And then I also got Mario Kart World Physical Edition and some screen protectors. So that's all I got as far as actual physical things for the system. And then I additionally also got Fast Fusion. And then the expansion pack for the online is the only stuff that I bought for the Switch 2. Otherwise, I've just been kind of relying on old games to enjoy the new hardware. So off the bat, I want to just briefly talk about the physical handheld itself. The construction of it is very durable. It feels so much better than the original Switch and the OLED Switch and the Switch Lite for that matter. The construction of it just feels better. It feels more durable. It feels like it'll hold up longer. Whereas the original Switch, mine specifically broke at the fan vent. Like, I know that was a pretty common problem. This just feels a lot more rugged, and it just built better. Even something as stupid as the flap for the game, it just feels robust. And there's even like metal in it, so it like clamps down around the game and like keeps it in there. And then it's just built a lot better. You're just gonna have to trust me until you get your hands on one. As far as the magnets go, these are super in there. It's not coming out. Like, you really would have to try to break this. And even if you do get it out of there, it doesn't break the system, at least a couple of times. Who knows how many times it would take to break it. The magnets are real strong. They can audibly hear it click in and everything. It's very nice. It's a great system. It's actually, so I am 5'11", full-grown male, not a huge hand, not a small hand. It's very comfortable in the hand. I've kind of always hated the size of it, of the original Switch and the Switch OLED. This is the perfect size for me, at least. Like, it fits perfectly into the palm of my hand, and then it just, I'm loving the size of it. It's the exact perfect size for me to hold on to, and it's phenomenal as a handheld for me finally. Whereas the original two Switches, I've really never played them in handheld unless like I was not near a TV and still wanted to play games. That was the only time that was ever a handheld for me. Pro Controller, love it, absolutely wonderful. I assume the battery life is somewhere still around the 40-hour mark. The physical shell of it is exactly the same. Obviously you got the camera button, the gray on the top accent. One thing I would like to touch on, just kind of something dumb I thought of, why is this gray? It doesn't match the aesthetic of the console. The console has the orange and the blue. Why didn't they do the orange and then the blue here, and then, I don't know, do this 50-50, or maybe just make this black and do the orange and the blue there? Or why is the console, the Joy-Cons not, like, I get it, they're two colors to represent player 1 and 2, but like, I don't know, it just kind of doesn't match. For me, it just seems kind of weird. Or like mix the two colors into like a purple and then make these purple. I don't know. It just doesn't match. It's just something dumb that kind of irritates me a little bit, I guess you could say. Or it should have just been straight all black, you know. What I can say for sure is these sticks are definitely different. The Joy-Con sticks are the same. The Pro Controller sticks are different for sure. You can feel it, that it snaps more. It feels very much, again, you'll just have to play it to experience it, but it feels smoother, and it just snaps back faster, and it feels better. The actual texture of it just feels really good and everything. The controller is definitely better. I will say that for sure. As far as the GameCube controller, one thing that I did notice right off the bat, the texture on this is different than a normal, let's call it Smash Ultimate and back GameCube controller, OEM. It's more rough. It's more gritty. I don't know why. I compared it to all of my OG GameCube controllers and my Smash Ultimate controllers and my Smash Wii U controllers. They all have like a nice feeling plastic on them. It's not a bad grittiness, but it definitely feels tougher. So, you know, maybe they did that for you Smash Bros. Sweats. that get real hardcore into the Smash Bros. And 12-hour straight tournaments. Maybe it'll grip better when you're all sweaty and stuff. I don't know, but it definitely feels different. That's for sure. One thing I noticed. I'm curious to know what the battery life on this is. I would imagine it's fairly good. This does also have the gyro in it. I was playing Captain Toad with this. Very interestingly enough, you can. So this works on a lot of stuff. The only thing that's really different is that the two sticks don't have buttons in them, but you do have ZL. But it's like a weird little nubbin button. Why didn't they just put another one of these here? And then you can't tell me that you couldn't have converted these to have clicking on them. It's 2025. Like, what do you, Nintendo, really? Like, you couldn't have just enhanced the controller just a little bit more for the money that this costs? You couldn't have just made it a full-fledged, like, usable controller for like everything? Just saying. 4 GameCube games. I guess, is it better? Yes. Is it like it's more of an authentic experience? But you don't really need it. Having used it now and having had it, I don't know. I would probably, like if once you get your Switch 2, I would say wait on this. Don't get it right away. Wait on it. Play the games with just the Pro Controller or even just the Joy-Cons, and just wait on it. Once maybe they have like a big library and Smash is there, and maybe Double Dash and just a lot of the bigger titles are finally there, maybe it would be worth it. But now it's a tough pill to swallow. This was it 65? And I think it was like 75, 78 with shipping and everything and tax and everything. So it was basically an $80 GameCube controller. I love the GameCube, so like I kind of justified it that way. But for like $80, that's a tough pill to swallow, if I'm being honest. Now, the GameCube games that you get at launch present, F-Zero GX, Wind Waker, and Soul Calibur 2. Soul Calibur and F-Zero do support widescreen. You just go into the main settings of the normal gameplay because they supported widescreen back in the day. Any GameCube game that does support that will support it on the Switch 2. That's cool. I personally like widescreen. I don't know why people like playing in 4:3 on a high-def TV. It just frankly seems kind of silly. Whatever. Personal preference. The games look absolutely phenomenal. They run flawlessly at their expected frame rate from back in the day. I don't know. I assume they're using their own in-house internal emulator, and it runs great. One thing that I did notice is when they did the Nintendo Tour demo kind of thing that they did in like a lot of major cities, they had the Mario Soccer game, Sluggers I think it was, or Strikers, one of the two, for the GameCube, and they were all playing it, and I've seen tons of footage of it, yet it's mysteriously not here at launch. They never said that it was going to be here at launch, but if you had it at your little tour thing, I just kind of assumed it would be an additional 4th game for launch. It would have just been that extra little bit to make this launch a little bit better. Mario Kart World is right here. $80 title. I've done all the 50cc's races. I've been having fun with that. I've played every single one of the levels. There's 7 cups from the get-go with 4 races in each of them, and then you unlock after you've done all 7 of those. No matter what place you get, you could be 24th place, you'll still unlock it. You get the Rainbow Cup. There's 4 races in there as well, so you get 8 times 4. That's the maximum amount of circuits that are in the game currently. And I say circuits loosely. I don't know that I like the direction they took this Mario Kart, personally. I like just a normal circuit, crazy, but like a full actual circuit, not like a straight road circuit thing. I don't know. They just feel kind of weird to me. I don't really like it personally. They're not bad, but I like a closed loop, 3 laps. This, the GameCube one where it's just like the NASCAR track. I forget what that's called, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like 7 laps on that one. That kind of style of just closed looped circuit track is what I prefer personally. But oh, there goes the game. They wanted to try something different, and that's cool. Does it work? Yes. Is it good? Sure. Is it $80 good? No. Anybody that did not get a Switch 2, if you weren't able to get a pre-order, if you just missed it because you were at work, whatever, what have you, I would like to say, don't feel bad and don't get into that state of FOMO, like you're missing out on the Switch 2 and the launch, and you're like, I gotta play it. It's really good, but it's not like Mario 64 back in the day good, right? It's not Halo good for the original Xbox launch good. It's not, I don't know, I'm trying to think of monumental big launch titles. I don't know, those are really kind of the only two big ones that I can think of that were at launch that became epic masterpieces of gaming history. I guess Super Mario World was also a big launch title for the SNES. There's not a lot of big first-party games for all these consoles were huge, massive successes in the future. Because GameCube had Luigi's Mansion, which is a good game, but again, it's almost on the same level as Luigi's Mansion, where it's it's a good game, but it's not launch title game. For me personally, I think that it should have been Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza at launch, or just Donkey Kong Bonanza at launch, and Mario Kart World should have been the follow-up title. There's not enough meat on the bone in that game, for it to cost $80. Shouldn't even cost $70. It should be a $60 title with the amount of content that is there. Doug Bowser is out of his flippin' mind thinking that this is an $80 title. The audacity that he has to say that and quote it, that he believes it's worth $80, is just absurd. There is not enough content in that game for it to be worth $80. Secondly, Bonanza, and we don't know yet, but we can all assume, that game is roughly probably going to take 30, 40, 50 hours to beat the entire game, right? And maybe even longer if you super completion it. That is a big, meaty, hearty game that, it's got tons of collectibles, there's got tons of worlds that you're going to go to, probably tons of boss fights, probably just tons and tons and tons and tons of content. Why was that not the launch title? Mario Kart should not have been the launch title. I think Nintendo is over-reliant on Mario Kart just because of how many units it sold with the Switch. I think it's 55 million, half the install base has Mario Kart 8. For me, I guess I kind of overhyped myself with Mario Kart. I guess I just really genuinely wanted it to be something cool because I've been playing Mario Kart 8 since the day it came out on the Wii U. And then I had to play it again for another 8 years on the new console. And then now we're finally getting a new Mario Kart. And it's cool, it's a good game. It was in development for 5 years. And those are all the levels you could give us? That's all the content you could give us? And the audacity to charge $80 for it? What they're doing is the totalitarian tiptoe. They are peeking their toe into the water to see if we will bite for that $80 price tag. And sadly, I did. Most of you did. Or you might have been smart and got the $50 bundle with the game and saved $30. But ultimately, this is a $60 game all day long, and it should not have been the launch title, in my humble opinion. Welcome Tour should have been included with the system. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. It's a $10 little tech demo. It should have been included with the system. PlayStation 5 came out with Astrobot 5 years ago. It's still installed on every single PS5 from the get-go. It's just part of the firmware with the system that they install at the factory. And that is a wonderful little 6 to 8 hour platformer that's very good, very well done. And it gives you something to play right out of the box. It's already installed on the system. And that's very cool that they do that. You mean to tell me, Nintendo, that you couldn't have included Welcome Tour so that people could experience all the different the mouse control, the HD rumble, and just the different features of the console for $10? You really had to try to scalp us for that $10 and get that money? It just, it's almost a little e-beggar like to have that be like, oh, we want $10 for this, we want $80 for this. The price of the console itself being $450 base, it does not bother me. I will say that as far as the UI of the system, the eShop of the system, everything is buttery smooth. The eShop has run like dog shit since really 2 or 3 months after the launch, when they finally started getting a lot of titles on the eShop. And then it just started getting bogged down, and it just ran like crap because there wasn't enough RAM in that console. This, I don't know how much is in the new console. It's enough to where the system can finally run the eShop properly, and it's not. I used to dread going into the eShop. Like, I don't think Nintendo, like, I purposely avoided the eShop and going on there because it ran so bad that, like, if I ever wanted anything and I had to, like, struggle to find it, it would irritate me so much that I would just like turn the Switch off and not buy things on the Switch because it just ran like crap and it would irritate me. The Switch 2, I can say, like, it runs buttery smooth in the menu, the eShop, just everything about it, navigating the settings and everything. It's so silky smooth because of the upgrade in the RAM, the amount of RAM, and even the speed of the RAM. It just is better. As far as, let's see here, as far as upgraded games, I have played a good bit of them. Mario Odyssey, the resolution bump on the game is pretty good. It's noticeable for sure. Is it going to blow you away though? Probably not. Is it worth replaying? Yeah, I might go back and fully replay the game and just kind of enjoy it again, because it's been enough years that I played this that I might enjoy it and kind of have some new memories with the game, or reoccurring memories, so to speak. Next up, I did also additionally try Link's Awakening. Again, I think I would. It's been I guess a good 4 or 5 years since I've played this. This is my favorite top-down Zelda, so I would probably go back and enjoy this again. You know, and this is a very quick Zelda. You can beat this pretty quickly if you know what you're doing, and it's more enjoyable because it looks even more enhanced, right? Pokemon Scarlet, I did additionally also play this a little bit again. A wonderful game back in the day, but it ran like dog shit. It was kind of the Pokemon that we've wanted for a while, with the new different features that they added in. They didn't dramatically change the game, but they dabbled with some new features and new ideas. And now the game looks really good. The draw distance is good. The resolution's good. The frame rate is nice and locked. The game is actually playable now. So, I may go back and restart the game and re-enjoy the game. And you might actually get to experience the game as it was intended 3 years ago, now that the system doesn't suck, that it's being played on. Then I did upgrade to get the expansion pack, finally. I've never had the expansion pack. I've had the online pretty consistently for most of the Switch's life, really just to play Mario Kart online, occasionally play Smash online, and to play a ton of Splatoon online, is why I pretty much always kept the online. I never had the expansion pack, and when you just have online, you get NES, SNES, and then you get just online features of playing games. Once you get the expansion packs, you get the N64, the Genesis, and GameCube only on Switch 2, and then you get like the Animal Crossing stuff. You also additionally with Switch 2 get Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 upgrades, which is how I got them. I did try Breath of the Wild. I didn't try Tears of the Kingdom, but it's the same exact graphics, so it's going to look exactly the same. I'll be honest with you, this was not whatsoever noticeable graphically different than the original game. Frame rate wise, it did feel a little smoother, I guess, and maybe I noticed that, but graphically I didn't notice any difference. Maybe draw distance wise is maybe better, right? But graphically it didn't really look any better. My TV, it's a Sony 4K HDR, non-OLED, but it's still a pretty good looking TV. I got that with the PS5, so it's not super new, but it's not super old either. I gotta be honest, it didn't really look any different. So, like, I'm glad I didn't technically spend the money just to get these upgrades. I only spent it to get the expansion pack to play the GameCube games, which I already could play on my GameCube because I have physically have those games, and then also have a modded GameCube that can play literally every GameCube game. And I have a FrameMeister, which can do CRT filters and widescreen on every game. So, like, I get it, not everybody has that deluxe setup, but at the same time, was it worth the expansion pack to spend the money to get the GameCube games, to play them online with an $80 controller? The GameCube is my favorite system, so that's how I'm trying to justify it in my head, that I spent that kind of money to play GameCube on a TV with an $80 controller when I could already do that with the real GameCube. The things you'll do for Nintendo as a Nintendo fan. Waste money. One thing that I can say that I was a little disappointed about, and it was misinformation that I misunderstood. Not misinformation, but information that I misunderstood, I guess is a better way to say that. On two fronts. I thought that the GameCube multiplayer games were playable online. I thought that I'd be able to Soul Calibur fight people online, and I thought that F-Zero GX had online racing now. I was mistaken. They do not. That's not a thing. I thought it was. I don't know why or where I thought that. I don't think I ever heard it. I guess I just kind of assumed that that was going to happen. It didn't. It's not a thing. I feel stupid now for thinking that was going to be a thing. The other thing that really did kind of irritate me was, and again, it was a misunderstanding on my part. I knew all these were getting the upgrades, and they were pretty evident that that was happening, and they even released a couple things on the internet stating that was going to happen. I thought that Kirby and the Forgotten Land DLC was going to be here at launch. It's not. It doesn't come out to the end of August. I don't know, just with the way they marketed it, I thought it was going to be here at launch, and it's not. So I guess what I can say is, I've already kind of touched on it. If you did not get a Switch 2, do not feel like you have to run out and try to find one. There's really not a whole lot to be playing here. You got Mario Kart and you got Fast Fusion, which, you know, let's talk about that a little bit. It's a really good game, and to be honest with you, I'm more impressed with Fast Fusion than I am with Mario Kart World. Graphically, it's a pretty good looking game. Gameplay-wise, it's super fun. There's some decent content there. There's just as many tracks in that game as there are in Mario Kart World. I think, give or take. I think there are. And if there aren't, no, I'm pretty sure there's the exact same amount of tracks now that I'm thinking about it. And you have to actually unlock the tracks and buy stuff in Fast Fusion. The Fusion denotes that you can combine two cars now, or two hover cars, speeders, whatever you want to call them. You can combine them, and then their attributes combined, and then physically they kind of fuse together and make a new looking kart. You can't double fuse, like you can't two fuse, and then fuse those. That's not a thing. I thought maybe that would be a cool thing you can do and make like an ultimate car. That's not a thing. You can just do it with two karts, and then you can split them apart and then do them with different ones. So there's different tinkering you can do, and it's a cool novel concept of them trying something different, you know. So that's cool. It's $15 though. That's the sell right there. They created a graphically beautiful game with a lot of tracks, a new cool little concept. It was here at launch, and it's $15. Versus Mario Kart 8, which is $80, which does not graphically look any better than the Wii U game, other than the HDR added in lighting. The actual textures don't look any better than Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. And it's $80. There's not a lot of tracks. And I gotta be honest, I'm impressed with the system itself, but I'm not impressed with Mario Kart really at all. It's good, but it's not great. And I think I'm a little sullied on it by the price. And then also, I just really think Donkey Kong should have been here at launch. Or they should have had Wind Waker and Twilight Princess be on a combo pack, 4K with HDR, for $80. That would be $80 worth of content right there. Nintendo, you could have done that, and people probably wouldn't have even bitched about that. They would have probably just... That is something I could say for certain. If they had double packed those for $80, 4K, HDR, and then also had Mario Kart 8 on at launch at 80, I think people might have accepted the price a little bit more. Like if you had two things at 80 and then one of them was like a really good chunk of content at 80, I feel like people might have swallowed the $80 price tag a little bit more. They're going to tiptoe around it, and they're going to... Metroid's going to be 70. Pokemon's going to be 70. Donkey Kong's going to be 70. The Hyrule Warriors game, that's going to be the next $80 title. Mark my words, because I don't think the pricing's been out for that one yet. That will be the next $80 title for sure. And then they're going to probably do a couple more at 70. But then I think come summer 2026 time frame, all first parties are going to be $80. At least for Nintendo. All of them are going to be $80 from the get-go. I just hope that they start actually making the games graphically better. Donkey Kong really doesn't look much better than Odyssey. It's on the same engine. And that's fine. Because content-wise, it's worth the 70. We're going to assume that there's a lot of content there. When Xenoblade 4 or whatever Xeno thing is coming out next, we know that that'll be 80, and it will be worth it because it'll be at least 80 hours to beat that game, right? The next big Zelda, whatever it's going to be, is going to come out. New Zelda entry will be worth $80, right? Like, at Breath of the Wild, if it were new now at $80, like I would probably swallow that and be like, it's a lot of content. 150 hours to play the game and beat it for $80. I could justify that price. But for Mario Kart, the $80 price tag, it was not a good move, Nintendo. It was not a good move. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys picked up for launch. Let me know if I should be picking up any of the other third-party stuff. None of it really seems very appealing to me. I had kind of wanted to get Bravely Default. But then the fact that it's $40 and it's key card, I already own, and I have the limited edition for the 3DS, so like I could play it right now without even leaving my house. Would it be cool in HD and then on the big screen and this and that? Sure, but at $40, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. And then you had Cyberpunk, you had Hitman, you had Sonic Generations, Yakuza 0. I already played all of that shit. I played Sonic Generations on the 360. I played Yakuza 0 on the PS4. I played Cyberpunk on the PS4 Pro. I played Hitman on Game Pass on the PC, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe on the Xbox. I don't remember. I played it on Game Pass. There just wasn't enough here at launch. Unless you're a Nintendo-only guy here, or gal, there just wasn't enough at launch here. It feels very lackluster. I know that things will steamroll and eventually, by winter time, by Christmas time, there's going to be, a bunch of big titles, Metroid, Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, Hyrule game, the Kirby game. By that point in time, by Christmas time, I'll have already been happy enough with all those titles at $450 for the console to have justified the price. And I'll be happy at that point. But as of right now, don't feel like you got to rush out to get this console. But be sure to let me know in the comments down below, if you did get one, are my opinions justified? Are my concerns justified? What did you pick up launch day? Are you enjoying it? Should I be getting any of the third-party stuff? I just don't really feel a draw to it because I already played it all. And they're all just peak pricing for games that are just years and years and years and even decades old for Sonic Generation. I can't stomach it. I really can't. But those are my thoughts and opinions of the first weekend with the Switch 2. Let me know what you guys think. Peace out for now, guys. Until next time.